OSRC News at 7. Fallen heroes, veterans honored as Armed Forces celebration begins with Jumat service. Federal government unveils reusable textbook policy to cut education costs. Jesse to return $9.5 million in corruption proceeds to Nigeria. From foreign scene, European Union push to implement second phase of ceasefire agreement.
Good evening and thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news on Osrc television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. As Nigeria marks the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day, calls for national unity and improved welfare for military veterans, widows and dependents of fallen heroes took center stage. The celebration kicked off with a Jumat service at the Akure Central Mosque, where Nigerians were urged to show kindness and support allegiance and paramilitary personnel for their service to the nation. Blessing Obi tells us more.
Activities marking this year's Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day began with a Jumat service at the Central Mosque in Akure, Ondo State. The service brought together political leaders, Islamic scholars, security chiefs, military veterans, and residents, highlighting the sacrifices of the armed forces to national development. The Chief Imam of Akure, Al-Haji Abdulhakim Yahya Akorede, urged Nigerians to support and empower one another while reflecting on the selfless service of fallen heroes.
Empowerment in our society, we need to do it in the right way. Láti lè jẹ́ kí àwọn tí a empower láti change life wọn, kì í ṣe láti tún jẹ́ kí òṣì wọn ó tún pọ̀ sí.
Chairman of the Nigerian Legion, Ondo State Council, Major Ajibowo Akingboju retired, commended the state government for prioritizing the welfare of widows and veterans. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Seun Osamai, described the day as a tribute to fallen heroes, assuring continued commitment to their welfare.
I want to reiterate once again the commitment of our government is always a commitment to the social welfare of all veterans, whether dead or alive. That those that are dead, their families will not be left alone.
Representing the Ondo State Governor, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Amidu Takuro, called on Nigerians to continue supporting legions and paramilitary personnel in appreciation of their sacrifices.
To the people, particularly the Muslim community, is that we should be kind for all the legion, the ex-military men and the paramilitary men in our society. But there's no amount we can give them with them kind men that is expected from us. That after their retirement, what they are expecting from us is for our support, particularly kindness in any way you see them.
The Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day activities will continue with a church service on Sunday, January 11, and climax with a final parade and laying of wreath on Thursday, January 15, 2026. Blessing Obi, OSRC News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Army has warned the general public against fake social media accounts purportedly operated by or associated with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wahidi Shaibu. In a statement, the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Apononia Anene, said it had observed a disturbing increase in the activities of unscrupulous individuals who create and operate fake online accounts in the name of the cause for fraudulent purposes. The Army categorically stated that the Chief of Army Staff does not operate or maintain an official social media account on any platform, stressing that any account claiming otherwise is fake and should be disregarded. The Army urged the public not to engage with, respond to, or share content from such accounts, warning that doing so could expose individuals to scams and other criminal activities. It further disclosed that necessary steps are being taken to identify and apprehend those behind the fake account with a view to prosecuting them in accordance with extant laws. The federal government of Nigeria has unveiled a comprehensive policy framework aimed at reducing the cost of education for parents and improving learning outcomes through the adoption of reusable, high-quality textbooks and the strengthening of quality assurance mechanisms. In a statement, Director of Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Boriowo Folashade, explained that the policy prioritizes the use of standardized, durable textbooks designed to last between 4 and 6 years, while expressly prohibiting the bonding of disposable workbooks with textbooks in schools. This approach is intended to ensure that learning materials can be reused across multiple academic sessions, thereby supporting environmental sustainability. Additionally, graduation ceremonies have been streamlined to alleviate unnecessary financial pressure on parents. On that, the new guidelines, only pupils and students completing primary 6, junior secondary school 3, JSS 3, and senior secondary school SS 3 are permitted to hold graduation ceremonies. And the federal government has reiterated commitments to track illicit funds overseas through its anti-corruption policy. The statement came as the British High Commission announced that the Bailiwick of Jersey has signed a memorandum of understanding with the federal government of Nigeria to return more than $9.5 million identified as proceeds of corruption by the repatriated funds earmarked to support a major infrastructure project. The federal government, through the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, welcomed the development, saying the recovery highlights the effectiveness of President Bola Tinubu's administration's anti-corruption framework and cooperation with foreign partners. The Royal Court of Jersey earlier ruled that the money held in the Jersey bank account was more likely than not the proceeds of a corrupt scheme in which third-party contractors diverted government funds for the benefit of senior Nigerian officials and their associates. The Attorney General for Jersey, Mark Temple Casey, signed the MOU in December 2025, paving the way for the return of the funds to Nigeria. You're still watching the news on Osrc television. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go away.
Hi, baby girl. Hello. I know. I've missed you.
Why text when you can talk? With Glow Talk Master 6 for 6. You get all the time you need to catch up with friends and loved ones. Free with Glow Talk Master. Talk for 6 minutes and get 6 minutes free. Plus 50 MB data. Simply dial *606#. New Glow subscribers also enjoy an extra 2,000 Naira data and airtime welcome bonus. That's right, every time you make up to 6 minutes of calls in a day, you get 6 free minutes plus 50 MB data. Simply dial *606# now to enjoy Glow Talk Master. That's right, 50 MB free data to connect and share as you please.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. For a few hours this morning, activities were grounded along the Osrc community axis in a federal local government area of Ondo State following a protest by residents of the community. The protesters said the action was triggered by an alleged imposition of a traditional ruler on the people. Adewumi Taiwo report that the protest disrupted vehicular and motorcycle movement as the road was completely blocked.
This road is a major route linking Akure South and Ifedore local government areas through Akure and the agrarian community of Osrc. The decision by residents of Osrc community to block the road led to a total standstill as commuters, including heavy-duty trucks conveying quarry materials, were stranded for hours. Community members and their traditional leaders were seen stationed at the boundary of Osrc community, claiming they were preventing the passage of errant chiefs of a prominent traditional ruler in Akure, whom they alleged were on an illegal assignment. Security personnel were also deployed to the scene to maintain law and order. Speaking with the Osrc crew, the youth leader of the community, Aino Olawole, accused a first-class traditional ruler in Akure South of planning to install an Olu in Ipamushara community, which is said falls within Osrc territory in Ifedore local government area. He explained that the youth mounted the roadblock to stop the alleged emissaries who were reportedly on their way to carry out preliminary activities ahead of the proposed installation.
Ifedore local government is very difficult to Akure South local government. There's boundary here, open tertiary, no dispute. So I don't see that there's no reason for Kabiyesi to go and install Olu in our community. That's why we stand here. That if at all they will come this morning, we are getting to that place. We are not even giving them opportunity to enter those area, our area. This is our meeting point. This is the boundary between Isolo town and Ifedore local government. That's where we are here. So Kabiyesi have talked to us that we should open the road, that should be free movement. That's why I've changed our grievances. This is solidarity movement. We are not fighting anybody. We want to show our grievances.
Neighboring community leaders, including the LCDA chairman of the area, appealed for calm while calling on the government's intervention.
You allow peace to reign. We should not take law into our own hand.
In this situation, I trust our Governor Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa. He's a man of peace. He's a man that knows how to organize things. When he listens to this, he will know how to call the both sides to settle the whole thing with them. And our appeal, and I will say appeal to the youth to calm down, to wait for Mr. Governor to intervene.
Normalcy, however, has since been restored while residents await government intervention. Adewumi Taiwo, OSRC News.
No fewer than 14,800 youth and women are said to benefit from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, in partnership with the federal and Ondo State government. The Ondo State Project Coordinator, IFAD Life ND, Olawale Ademola, who made this known at a media roundtable meeting in Akure, the state capital, noted that the new phase tagged additional financing will run for 3 years. Blessing Obe brings us the details.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Niger Delta Life ND is an IFAD-funded project designed to create jobs for rural youths and women while boosting food security. As part of efforts to keep the public informed about its projects, the Ondo State Projects Coordinating Office organized a media roundtable meeting to showcase the project activities and achievements.
Excellent performance.
The State Project Coordinator, Olawale Ademola, revealed that 14,800 beneficiaries are expected to be empowered under the additional financing phase, adding that more than 4,000 incubatees were trained and supported during the first phase.
This is a new year. We are moving into what we call additional financing. We're talking about the new era under lifespan for the project. The first phase ended April 2025, and graciously IFAD, having looked at our performance over years, they granted additional 3 years. Our goal is to remove poverty, from the society, particularly the rural communities. We call them rural poor. So IFAD is to ensure that there is a positive transformation, lifting people out of what? Out of poverty.
The State Rural Institution Gender and Youth Officer, Bolanle Akiyede, explained that the project targets youth, women, and persons living with disabilities with interest in agriculture.
In my thinking, there is a way we do a balancing that both the female and the male are well taken care of. So we don't leave the stage for the male alone. We encourage our female gender to be actors in every decision making. Apart from this, we bring along the PWD, the persons with disabilities, to also have equal opportunity to benefit from the program.
Some incubatees currently undergoing training express appreciation to IFAD for the opportunity to become entrepreneurs.
I really appreciate the name of the law for making it possible for me to be one of the beneficiaries of IFAD, because what I've learned from IFAD during the training, I've never thought that I would undergo such things.
Life ND has changed some things in my life. It trained us on how to process fish.
The program, tagged IFAD/FG Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise Niger Delta Life ND project, is expected to take place in 100 communities across 10 local government areas of the state. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
The federal government has directed all shipping companies and airlines operating in Nigeria to submit their cargo manifest through the National Single Window NSW platform in a move aimed at strengthening cargo tracking, improving transparency, and enhancing trade facilitation. The directive issued through the Ministry of Finance marks a significant shift from the previous arrangement where the submission of shipping manifests was handled exclusively by the Nigerian Customs Service for cargo processing and port clearance. In a memo dated November 17, 2025, shipping lines and airlines were instructed to integrate their operations with the National Single Window platform to ensure seamless submission of sea and air manifests. The memo stated that the National Single Window project was inaugurated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on April 16, 2024, as part of efforts to streamline and automate import and export processes at Nigeria's ports of entry and exit. Under the system, traders, shipping lines, airlines, and other stakeholders are required to submit all import and export documentation once through a centralized digital platform. And now on the foreign scene, residents of Minneapolis protest after a woman, Rennie Nicole Good, 37, was shot dead by an ICE agent. The shooting took place on Portland Avenue in South Minneapolis, just blocks away from the city's central business district. One protester shouted, "Your soul needs to grapple with the fact that you murdered a mother yesterday. Her son is 6 years old." Victoria Olawale has details.
Your soul needs to grapple with the fact that you murdered a mother yesterday. Her son is 6 years old. His name is Emerson. Her name was Renee.
The name of Riney Nicole Good, shot dead by an ICE immigration agent, is echoing across Minneapolis. Reflection and resistance, a focus for the fury at Donald Trump's wider migrant crackdown. Anthony watched the horror unfold from his balcony. He wants to remain anonymous because he has a government job, but shows a video he filmed of the moment it happened.
Right there.
So this is her car?
Yeah. So that's when she kind of tries to get out the way, and then she crashes.
You knew that she'd been shot at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can hear in your video someone shouting she's been shot in the face.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I heard too.
The timestamp on this video shows it's 9 minutes before first responders remove her from the car. They attempt resuscitation on the roadside. It's another 10 minutes before an ambulance arrives. A few doors away, Aiden was also watching.
Yeah, I was right in front. She turned away from them. She was trying to flee, no doubt in my mind. It is more okay for a civilian to panic and try to escape than it is for a law enforcement agent to panic and kill someone.
But that's not the viewpoint in Washington. Qualified empathy from the vice president.
What you see is what you get in this case. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that. I can believe that her death is a tragedy, while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making.
At the start of the week, the Trump administration had launched a massive immigration operation in Minnesota, sending 2,000 officers onto the street here against the wishes of the majority. It was already an atmosphere ripe for confrontation. People are being urged to protest peacefully. But peace here feels precarious. Victoria Olawale, OSRC News.
Egypt and EU agree on urgent need for second phase for Gaza ceasefire. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Edelati met with visiting EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas in Cairo. Kemisola Ojomu tells us more.
Egypt and the European Union said on Thursday the efforts were being made to implement the second phase of the U.S. broken ceasefire between Hamas and Israel in Gaza. Phase 2 calls for the establishment of a board of peace to oversee the peace process. Egypt and the EU said the body should begin its work without further delay.
In Gaza, the situation is extremely severe still. Hamas refuses to disarm. It blocks progress to the next stage of the peace plan. At the same time, Israel also is restricting the international NGOs that are putting humanitarian aid access at serious risk. Without the NGOs, aid cannot reach the necessary at the necessary scale in Gaza. There is no justification for the humanitarian situation in Gaza to have deteriorated to the current level.
Waiting for the American side to start as the plan is related to President Trump. Therefore, the American side will soon announce all the specifics, especially related to the Gaza Peace Board and the Technocrats Committee, as it is very important.
السلام العالمي وأيضا لجنة التكنوقراط لما لها من أهمية بالغة.
Under Donald Trump's plan, the Board of Peace is supposed to supervise a new technocrat Palestinian government in Gaza and the deployment of an international stabilization force. It should also oversee the disarmament of Hamas and additional pullbacks of Israel troops from the territory. Kemisola Ojomu, OSRC News.
In sport, football legend Segun Odegbami has advised the Super Eagles to play confidently without fear and like champions. Odegbami, who identified many factors to come into winning, said the most important one is confidence and self-belief.
But confidence, it
It is about belief that you can do it. You know, the difference between footballing countries is not much. From match to match, when you look at them, you see that, you know, they struggle. You know, what makes you win is so small. From match to match, it could just be one moment of magic. It could just be one moment you are lucky. It could just be somebody's mistake, somebody's, you know. And occasionally it is because you play well, you are coherent, and so on and so forth. So there are so many factors that come into winning. But the most important one is that confidence and self-belief. With the quality that we have, with our history, and the numbers that we have, no country in Africa should be struggling with us, you know, from competition to competition. And you see, last year it was Victor Osimhen. Now it is Ademola Lookman. We have the stuff. We've had them all the time. And look at those that never became Africa's Player of the Year. So many. Mikel Obi and all that generation of players. Even JJ never became. Just to tell you the depth of talent that we have. You know, so as we prepare, my advice to the Super Eagles is that they should play confidently. They should play without fear. They should play like champions. You know, when you play like that, you know, you more often than not win. And you win deservedly, because it is not by luck, it is not by chance, it is because you are good. You know you are good, and then you can go out there and play and perform and entertain and, you know, just go out there and dominate and win. We have the players to do it.
Football legend there, Segun Odegbami speaking. And to end the news tonight, another look at the major stories. We told you that as Nigeria marks the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day, Nigerians were urged to show kindness and support to legions and paramilitary personnel for their service to the nation. The federal government of Nigeria has unveiled a comprehensive policy framework aimed at reducing the cost of education for parents and improving learning outcomes through the adoption of reusable high-quality textbooks and strengthening of quality assurance mechanisms. The federal government of Nigeria has also reaffirmed its resolve to track and recover illicit funds stashed overseas as part of its anti-corruption drive. And from the foreign scene, we brought to you the news that Egypt and European Union have pushed for the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire agreement as both sides stressed the urgent need to advance the next phase of the truce. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.